Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the stream. You'll have to forgive my posture. I'm hunching over towards the microphone because I've got a very ridiculous, elaborate setup here with multiple cameras and things in my way. And I have this microphone in front of me, so when I get my pinball stance, everything's gold. And so yeah, forgive my posture. Hopefully everyone's having a good Friday. Looks like we got Hollywood Polo, we got David, we got Jason, we got Coin Worker, we got Endangered Dog. We got lots of great people in the chat. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Big thumbs up for this stream, says WKRP Cincinnati. Well, thank you. Appreciate it, guys. And I'm struggling to read my computer from a distance. So if I butcher any of these usernames, I apologize. In fact, I'm going to have to, what's up? Rituadello. Okay, I totally butchered that, and I apologize. That's all me, but hopefully you guys are doing all right. We got all sorts of things going on for this gameplay. Let's figure out the sound, though, because of this setup, you can hear me fine on this microphone. I'm going to also be blaring my gameplay sound, and obviously it doesn't hit the back of the microphone well, so we'll have to kind of dial in our gameplay volume. Steve, good evening. How are you doing? Thanks up so much for this, giving it up for Friday. Okay, so let me show you what we got here. Enough of me talking. So I've got the actual stream over there to the left, and if you guys aren't aware, you can watch this in 1080p 60 frames per second. That is what I have the table stream at. So I'm not sure what YouTube natively defaults things, but I'm willing to bet what you're watching it right now is not going to be in 1080p 60 frames per second. So if you want to flip to that so you get the best visualization of the gameplay, feel free to do that. Fair warning, though, the actual stream there on the left, that is 1080p 60 frames per second. This camera right here in front of me, this is 1080p 30 frames per second. So if you see some sort of, difference between those two, that's why you get different frame rates. And then the camera I'm talking to you is at 24 frames per second. So we'll see how YouTube juggles that. And then let me get the audio. So I've got Pinup Popper as my front end, thanks to Pinup Popper's Baller Installer. Shout out to Nailbuster. It is a fantastic, easy to use software. Gets me this beautiful, nice, easy to use front end. I can go left to right with my flipper buttons here. I've got some just categories here. I got things broken down. So I got Visual Pinball X games. I got a subcategory of Williams Bally titles. Haven't put anything in the favorites, oddly enough. Just got every Pinball FX3 game, and then I got breakdowns of the Marvel games, Star Wars games, Universal games, and then back to my Visual Pinball X's. So as far as what we're going to play first, I asked you guys, and I saw literally 1,000 different answers, and I was hoping I would see a recurring theme of multiple answers, but they were all different. So Bobby View, clean like a mother, yeah. Hello, Brad. So excited. So in case you were wondering, yes, I have installed a 32-inch playfield. I will make a dedicated video on that later on at some point. I used a completely different monitor and did a completely different process than what I'd done previously in the past. So it is now able to be recessed in the body. It's not sitting on top of the frame like it was before. I've got a new piece of glass on here. And yeah, so let's just pick a game. Baller Installer is both awesome and easy to use. So good, says W. Yes, it is. So one great thing about Baller Installer, let me talk a little bit before we get situated, is let me just go into Visual Pinball X. So these graphics, the video of it playing, the back glass and everything, that is thanks to their Pinup Media little server thing. So you can create this all yourself, which is a very arduous task and something a lot of people just don't want to mess with. Or thankfully, there's a lot of great people out there that have already done that work, and you can literally go into the menus of Pinup Popper, tell it what playfield, back glass, whatever you want, type in, GoldenEye, and then it'll pull up all these different files that have already been created, and you just click download file, and it immediately downloads it, puts it exactly where it needs to be in the folder. You don't have to do anything other than just click download and save. And the next time you open up the menu, it's there, and it looks gorgeous. I mean, this thing is fan-freaking-tastic. Meatball Saucy says, do I have a game in VPX that you also have in FX3 to compare the physics? Yes, I do. I have Monster Bash and Attack from Mars. So, all right. So what do we... So I think Addam's Family was one I saw. I'll go in here. And you'll see I've got like different back glass videos and things. You can get crazy with this. I've actually, sorry, I'm reaching because I'm trying not to like unplug camera cables. You can get super crazy with this stuff. You can have like pup video packs where there's all sorts of cool things playing on the back glass, or you can just have a standard animated back glass. I've started to like wean myself off of the pup video packs. They're super cool and everything, but like the amount of time you actually spend looking up at the back glass is very minimal. And I have a great deep appreciation for a lot of these back glass artworks. So I've kind of been like weaning myself away from the pup video packages and been going straight to just standard like light up back glasses like that. So you see like it illuminates like the original one would. Welcome to the show, P-dubs. Honestly have little use for FX3 after playing many of the Yeah, it's a hit or miss. Like there's some VPX tables that play fantastic and there's some that play not so great. It just depends on like what you expect from things. So first of all, can you guys hear the music? Because I have it like super low as far as the pinball machine. Like I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me just fine. Frankie, I'm doing good now that work's off. Free action figures all the time. He has a bad run. Yeah, if you like Rose Tico action figures from Star Wars The Last Jedi, I've got 40,000 of those to give away. So, all right, no, I didn't think so. It gets really loud when the game plays. So we'll just get started. So I got the plunger going and everything. It's like you might not be able to hear the pinball table music as well, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear like the solenoids and my surround sound feedback popping off because I've got headphones on. It's stupid loud. And this thing rattles like a mofo when it starts hitting those bumpers. And I lost it already. Favorite game on this machine at this point? It is probably Stranger Things or Masters of the Universe. Those tables are fantastic, fun to play. Stranger Things is like super elaborate and has an awesome back glass like video package. That's what I get for looking away from the chat. I'm like trying to do too many things at once. Like I got a camera here, I got a computer over here so I can look at the chat, and then I got pinball in front of me. So what model Sony camera is that? So if you're talking about this one, this is the A7S III. If you're talking about that one, that is the A6400. I used to be a Canon guy until literally like 6 months ago, and I jumped ship over to Sony, and it made me sick to my stomach, but I got tired of Canon like purposely crippling their cameras and settings and things like that. They're like, hey, we'll give you 4K, but we'll crop it in really crazy, or we'll give you record time limits and all these silly things. And I was just like, no. So I think I have around 200 or a little over 200. I'm like still constantly tweaking and adding and removing titles because like I keep finding titles and I'm like, yeah, that'll be fun. You know, it's got a cool IP or something. And then I play the game and I'm like, this table sucks. So it's always evolving, but I think, was it like 103 FX3 tables? I have whatever, that was awful. I've got every FX3 table, and I think for sure I have at least 100 VPX tables on here. Yeah, seriously, they would put time limits on there, and like, it just, silly stuff like that. And Sony doesn't do that, so they charge way too much for their cameras, I think, but you don't have to make those compromises. Oh, get the hand. There we go. Multi-ball. Another thing about VPX tables specifically is like there's always people like constantly tweaking and modding the tables. So your Addams family that you download might be a little bit different than the Addams family that I'm playing, and vice versa. Because there's so many different like tweaks and mods with lighting and graphics and physics. So not every VPX table is created equal, even if it is named the same thing. So that is one thing you'll definitely find out. One thing a lot of people are probably not accustomed to is, like, especially in the VPN world, is you kind of have to like tweak each table a little to your personal specifications. Like, a lot of people are used to that whole Raspberry Pi, RetroPie, like download an image and everything's up and going. Like, that doesn't really work so well in virtual pinball world. Like, everything needs to be tweaked a little bit for your own taste, your own setup, just to make sure everything's working. Like, I purposely went through hundreds of these tables one by one and like made little adjustments, and I'm still making little adjustments, and that's going right down the hole. Dang it. Am I going to visit the arcades with P-dubs? If the arcades are ever open again, like, I've been vaccinated since December, so I've been very fortunate in that aspect, but I still can't go to like my local movie theater or anything like that because they're not open. There's still lots of travel restrictions and things like that, so very limited to what I can really do right now. I've got a bunch of vacation time that's just like accumulated because I haven't been able to go to a convention or a show or anything like that in a long time. All right, so we backed out. I'll go do Attack from Mars. People are familiar with that. So this is the VPX version of Attack from Mars. It's obviously going to look and play a little differently than FX3, what people are accustomed to. Yes, P-dubs, I have both Elvira. Was there like 4 tables in total? But I have Scared Stiff and, oh, my bad. I totally remember what I did. Yeah, so the reason you're seeing the Marvel image back there is I had a pup video package for Attack from Mars, and I didn't like it, and I removed it, and I forgot to put my backglass image for Attack from Mars. So disregard the Marvel backglass image I've got going there, but we'll do Attack from Mars real quick. Turn it up. P-dubs is in love with Scared Stiff. Yeah, that one's a good one. Elvira gives you some suggestive... Let me see if I got the volume on the table turned down. That's another thing, like, internally on these tables sometimes. Yeah, I gotta open the coin door, or tell it the coin door is open. Oh yeah, that's why you can't hear it. The volume's like super low. Close the coin door on my keyboard. 27 or 32 do I think is better? I'm just gonna say 32 because it fits. You'll have to do like the same amount of like customization, maybe even a little more if you do 27. 32 is literally like the max you can put in there. Like, I've got this monitor decased, dehoused, stripped down of every possible part you could remove off this monitor to get it to fit in here. If I went with 27, I would still have to do a lot of things like that, but I would have to come up with like something that fills in the space like here, because obviously it wouldn't be as long. So you run into a situation of you're creating more work for yourself by going with a smaller one, but then again, it's also, I will tell you, this was a bit frustrating to get in there. It's doable if you know what you're doing, but obviously not for beginners or newcomers to modding, because just like decasing the monitor alone, like the last thing you want to do is pay $100 for a monitor or something like that and like disconnect or strip something incidentally and kill that monitor instantly. So you're dealing with tiny screws and very delicate wires, so you feel like you're defusing a bomb when you do that type of thing, but it works. Yep, VPX, it looks great on here. I played horribly, but that's what happens. All right, back out. So I can scroll through here and you guys can shout out a table. Tilting Pinball says, got to meet Elvira at the Chicago Pinball Expo in 2019. Looks great, especially after realize how old she is. Yeah, she's held up fantastic. Obviously, there's, you know, makeup and things in the works, but still, I mean, yeah, she's a good-looking lady. Guess what? I know COOLTOY's name is. It's Doug. That's true. It is. You'd be surprised how many times I comment in like the Arcade1Up or the At Games Facebook groups, and somebody says, "Well, I watched COOLTOY's video," and I'm like, "Well, first of all, you're talking to COOLTOY. My name's Doug. It's not COOLTOY. The name of the channel is COOLTOY, but it's always funny." Stranger Things. Okay, yeah. Let me blaze through this real quick. Get over to the S's. I'm sure there's probably a quicker way I can do this, but I didn't read the instruction manual, so. And I'm for sure going to get copyright striked on so many songs that are in these tables, so definitely not making any money on the stream tonight. That is for sure. I was playing something the other day, and I was like, oh, wow, there's no way I can stream this without getting all of the copyright hits. Michael B., what's up? My name is COOLTOY. I'm the king of, I'm kind of a big deal. I have many leather-bound books and action figures, and my house does not smell of mahogany because my wife is like super smell sensitive. She won't let me wear like cologne or like I wash my body with some like unscented body wash because like she'll walk into the house and you could be in a different room and she'll be like, somebody's got cologne on. I got a headache. Get out of my house. So. But this table's awesome. Like I said, you get that Stranger Things music intro. You got little details over here, like how many ball locks, jackpots. You got your score over here. You get notifications. I mean, it's fan-freaking-tastic. The table itself is gorgeous. It plays well. It's got great physics. So, I love it. Al, what's up, Al? I'll do Munsters after this, Brad. Keep me in line. Remind me. Got a classic Fruit Roll-Ups commercial in there. I mean, what more do you want? Light show looks authentic. Yeah, I've got like lights on here, studio lights, so you don't see me in the dark. But this thing will give you a straight-up seizure when you hit certain, jackpots and things like that. And I don't know if you can hear it, but it's Michael Jackson's Thriller playing on there. So I doubt you could probably hear anything but the table sound effects. So if I was a rich man, I would definitely spend the like $7,400 and buy the Stern Stranger Things table because I'm a Stranger Things fanboy. Plus, it's a fantastic machine that has all sorts of awesome technological advancements. But this is, a suitable, more economically responsible substitute. Wish I could. I need to get the Demogorgon. It's got, you get to go in the upside down. I'm not doing this table justice because I'm playing horribly. It is awesome. Michael B. Oh, I hear Thriller, and so does YouTube. Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I can't wait to like log into YouTube tomorrow morning and see like the 1,500 copyright strikes this video is going to get. But I don't care. I've made it abundantly clear in my entire YouTube journey that I'm going to do things my way. Trying to get that middle. This is.
Oh Jesus, this is bad. Really bad.
I love it. Like the screens, COOLTOY. Where did I get this pinball? This pinball was manufactured by Arcade1Up and then destroyed and put back together in loving fashion by myself. So I've been modding this for the last couple of weeks in various stages, and this is like the final form, so to speak. Just because I don't think I'm going to change anything else on it. Like I said, I got this new 32-inch screen in here. It fits well. I'm only missing or like cropping off a small portion of the bottom of the play field, which is completely minor. Like it's, no details down there that really are missed. So I got my back glass. I got my pinup popper, thanks to Nail Buster. I mean, I got this thing pre-tricked out, solenoids, surround sound feedback. There's not a whole lot more I can want to do to this thing to really do any kind of more improvements. It's what I want. Takes up a small footprint. What did I think of JDV's step-by-step build of his V-Pen? You'll have to break down JDV. I'm struggling with that abbreviation right now.
How do I find you? What should I do?
Oh no, RUN. Gotta run. Undercab lighting, yes. So I've already bought some, musically activated. There we go. There's the Demigorgon activated LED, and to put it under there, I just literally haven't taken it out of the package. It's sitting in my desk right now. Just need to take it out of the package and stick it under there. Oh, of course I shot it. So that's one thing I really love about the surround sound feedback is like I can hear and feel the ball when it goes up and down the rails as well as when it goes down the bottom. Even my wife remarked, she's like, it feels like a real pinball machine. And that's high praise coming from a woman that doesn't care about video games. And I think a lot of these tables look fantastic. I mean, this is just 1080p. 4K at 32 inches is kind of a moot point. So could I do 4K? Sure, but it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. But if you had a bigger setup, 4K would be ideal. Like if you got a 50-inch playfield or something like that, yeah, go 4K if you can afford it. But I enjoy this 1080p. Thanks for stopping by, Frank. David says, I already purchased the downloadable FX3 tables from Steam. Will Baller Installer overwrite? No, it will not. So you don't have to worry about it erasing games or anything like that. Baller Installer is just like the icing on a cupcake, so to speak. It's no files, like you're not downloading Steam tables or anything like that. You're just telling it, playing the upside down. Basically just like connecting folders and then giving it some pretty visuals on top of it. Like Baller Installer, I still had to like find and download all the 100 VPX tables I had on here, which is nice. You can, like I said, you can go through it individually and find what you like, as opposed to downloading a pack of hundreds and thousands of tables or whatever that most of them you'll never play. Plus, you can thank the individual table creators and say, hey, you did a great job on this table. Thanks for putting it out there. I have to do double flippers here because it's reversed, and I'm so not good enough to think upside down while I'm playing the upside down right now. Oh. That's what I was trying to do. Trying to get that upside down multi-ball. As I lost it almost instantly. Oh, that's bad. Alright, we'll play Masters of the Universe after I lose this really quick. Because it's coming. Brad says he cannot wait for more Stranger Things, and you and me both. I'm really hoping they've taken so long so they could film like both seasons back to back. I can't remember if that's what they were planning on doing. I know those kids are growing like weeds, so they get like a limited time frame unless they do some sort of like time jump or something like that. So fingers crossed. I'm still bummed that I can't like get season 3 on like Blu-ray. Like, yeah, I know I can watch it on Netflix, but I'm a physical media guy, so I'm like, why can't I buy season 3? It's been off TV for almost 2 years at this point. Like, sell me the Blu-ray.
How do I find you? What should I do?
Tilting says, can't wait to see what Kevin Smith does with the new Masters of the Universe. I am excited about that as well. I love Kevin Smith. I've got to meet him several times. He's a great dude, funny guy. Kind of like the voice of my generation, I guess you could say. Him and Wes Anderson are like my writing. I don't know. I can't think. It's Friday. I've worked. People you look up to. You know, you strive to admire. I admire the writing style of Kevin Smith and Wes Anderson. That's what I'm trying to spit out. All right, I got more multiple. Here, let me back out. We'll play something else. We'll go back to Masters of the Universe. There it is. He-Man.
Please wait. I am now loading up the game. Have fun.
I want to see what Doofer Brothers do with the talisman. True. Did I like Transformers Earthrise? Yes, I did. I've loved it. My only complaint about Transformers, the new Earthrise series, is you only get like 6 episodes. It's just way too short. There we go. So hopefully you guys like the Masters of the Universe theme song, because this blares it. Though, again, I don't know how well that picks up on here. Okay, and then we'll do Munsters after this. Hey, Nailbuster, what's up? You can thank Nailbuster for this beautiful front end. He was gracious enough to let me test it out, and he's helped me out with some hiccups I had, but it's pretty much it's about as straightforward as you could possibly imagine. Like, I'll flat out say that I didn't read the README like I should have, and I was still able to relatively figure it out quite well. So it's very user friendly. So he does a fantastic job with it. This table's fantastic, by the way. Even if like you're not so much of a He-Man fan, like the surround sound feedback, it's just, this one really has everything I've got going on in this cabinet as far as solenoids and surround sound feedback. It has everything firing and just really making this cabinet rumble and shake and vibrate. Plus, when you hit those ramps, they got a nice lighting effect. I did turn off my analog nudge because my wife hates it. She's a very aggressive pinball player. Like, she really slaps the flipper buttons, and she kept nudging the table because she doesn't understand, the accelerometer and everything I had in here. So I turned off the analog nudging, so I'm just only using my physical nudge buttons right now. Because happy wife, happy life. And the fact that she's enjoying and willing to play pinball is something that I think has been great so far, because she's never liked video games, so it's been a pleasure to share that with her. There we go. Lighting effects like that. I love it. The Tron table is awesome too. Terry Red's Tron table. Alright, we'll back out. I just didn't realize I'd turned on 2 players. Alright, so I think Munsters was the next suggestion. This one's a fun one. It's a nice alternative to Addam's Family if for whatever reason you don't like Addam's Family, which I don't know why you wouldn't. It's the greatest selling pinball machine of all time. What does my wife look like? That's it's hard for me to describe, and I guarantee no amount of description I would say would be sufficient for her. So I will just say, an effort to not get killed if she ever watches this, which she won't because she doesn't watch my content. But just to cover all my bases, she is the most beautiful woman in the world. Anybody that's been married a long time knows that's the only answer you can safely give. Hey, no apologies necessary, Thomas. Thanks for joining the stream.
Please wait. I am now loading up the game. Have fun.
Oh, by the way, if Nailbuster's still in the chat, my wife absolutely gets a kick out of the British "please wait, I'm now loading the table, please have fun" announcement every time you play a table. She thinks that's the greatest thing ever. Easily amused, but I think it's nice, a nice touch. Yeah, Brad, definitely a loaded question. All right, so I do have a pup pack video package on here, so I'm looking. I can't tell if it's just too bright or what, but here, let me show you. Let me move a camera real quick. Yeah, all right. So the back glass here will have scoring updates and things like that, as well as the original stern back glass image and everything. So I'll see things like that. I don't have any scoring on my DMD because I've got everything situated to go on just the back glass. So, but anybody, I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, the Arcade1Up stock DMD, it's a piece of crap LCD. It's got muted colors. Technically speaking, the LCD is just fine. It's just the way it's being, presented information from the Android Arcade1Up system. So it's not really a fault of the screen itself. It's just the information that screen is being given. All right, and I think I have to turn the volume up on here. Like I said, I've individually turned a lot of these down. Okay, well, it's all right. It's copyrighted music anyway. Trying to catch up with the chat here, sorry. The DMD is super bright. Doug, did you see the FX3 showdown between your average gamer? I didn't see the actual event. I saw like the build up and the hype videos. That's what I saw. I need to catch up on my YouTube watch backlog, so to speak. And I lost the ball. That was quick. But end of ball bonus, space bonus, subtotal bonus. Like I said, I get little notifications. I said, a lot of these pup video packages are really cool, and then some of them are just overkill. It's just personal preference. Like whatever you like. I had one for Addam's Family, and then it was just too much to me. I was like, I just want to look at the Addam's Family back glass. See, Chris says, what other older TV show tables do I have? You'll have to be a little more specific as what you clarify as older. I'm 36, so what I consider old might not be what you consider old.
Be careful. Grandpa's in his laboratory.
A little nudge save there. Get these wraps to save my life. Grandpa's basement is missing. Grandpa for the win. That's one thing I've noticed on this table. I don't have I need to rig up another button. There's a couple of these tables that, have like a fire button that you would normally have like right here on the lockdown bar, things like that. I'm just using the same amount of buttons plus my nudge buttons, so when it asks me to do certain things for Grandpa, I can't do it because I don't have that button situated. Otherwise, I have to like whip out a keyboard and hit that button. So I need to spend some time and find out what corresponding keyboard button that is and just like map it to something so I can hit those objectives. Yeah, the zap button. There we go. That's specifically what I'm talking about. I can't hit the zap button, Grandpa, because I didn't pay enough attention to set it up. How much money did I spend on modding? So that was a tricky one because majority of the stuff in here is used. So the back glass monitor was like 90 bucks. This monitor I paid 140 for because I bought it used as well, refurbished, even though it showed up brand spanking new. So that was just like dumb luck on my part. Solenoids, surround sound. So solenoids are the stock Arcade1Up. The wiring and surround sound feedback stuff, I've probably got like $60, $70 into that tops. And the rest of it's just my time and effort. The PC I bought used. If you try to buy it like secondhand now, you know, what I paid for it versus what you paid for it would vary different. And then graphics card, geez. I bought this graphics card a while back, way before graphics cards spiked because of cryptocurrency. So if you try to buy the same graphics card I got in here, you'd probably pay like $350, which is stupid. Don't do that. So that's why it's hard to put a final number on there. But if I was like just being conservative, I would say like $500, including the PC and graphics card and everything. And that's just me trying to have every bell and whistle possible. Like I said, you can do this for so much cheaper. It just depends on what you want. Like if you don't need surround sound feedback. It's super cool, but you don't need it. You don't technically need solenoids. It's super cool, but you don't technically need it. You don't need a bigger screen. The stock one works fine. I found that LCD controller board that, you know, converts the signal. A decent PC with like an i7 processor. You don't even need like a graphics card to run FX3 tables with an, you know, built-in Intel 4600 graphics. You know, you don't even need a dedicated graphics card. So it just really depends on like what features and bells and whistles, so to speak, are important to you as far as how much money you'll end up spending to do this. It is a slippery slope, though. You'll start one thing and you go, okay, that was cool. It'd be a little nicer if I could do this, and then do this, and then do this, and the next thing you know, you've went down the rabbit hole. All right, we'll back out. What else? Order those cables. Thanks again. Is this from Zen Studios? No, that was a Stern table. I'll play Fastbreak. I really enjoy this one.
Please wait.
This one's awesome.
I'm now loading up the game. Have fun.
Nudge is needed. So I have nudge. Like I said, I got my nudge buttons on the side, and then I have an actual analog nudge sensor that's my encoder, but I've turned it off right now. Just like I said earlier, my wife plays pinball. She slaps the machine, and it sets it off. She got ticked off all the time. So I've got the settings turned off in DOF links for the analog nudge, but it's an easy fix. This table's awesome, by the way. It's like the NBA Jam version of pinball, if you weren't familiar. Would a 2600 be a good video card for pinball? I'm not familiar with that one, so I can't say off the top of my head. AMD is my personal preference for graphics cards, but you know, you take what you can get. Elm Street, watching this makes me sad that my Marvel was canceled. Who'd you order through? I've heard a couple of horror stories of like cancellations. I think Walmart was the guilty party last I heard. I've actually been fortunate enough to play this table in real life, and it is a sight to behold. I mean, because the ball is literally like bouncing off all the time, and you'll hear it like smacking the glass from time to time when people really get some pop. That's terrible play on my part. I'm still figuring out like the rules on this specific table because I played it the other day and I scored like 110 points and it still told me I lost. I'm like, how do I score 110 points in a basketball game and still lose to the computer? I mean, that's definitely some NBA Jam type of garbage there. But I'm doing terrible here. I haven't even, yeah. That was terrible. I won't even score 40 points the way it's looking. I think there's like a hot dog madness mode on here when you like score points really quickly, and I can't remember how. Oh, that's not how you do it. Yeah, 13 points. That was terrible. Any super secret mod plans for my At Games Legends pinball? So I haven't touched that thing in a while because I had some issues where the back glass monitor was not working properly. So my At Games pinball machine had been out of commission for about a month, but they finally got me hooked up. They did a good job. Their customer service taking care of me, so I applaud them for that. So I'm honestly just waiting for their quote-unquote Rachel board, which is a board that helps communicate the standard back glass EDP signal with an additional HDMI one, so you don't have to like constantly take cables apart and unplug and replug, and you can plug multiple sources in and just hit it with a button. That's what I'm just waiting for. As soon as that board, that circuit board gets created, then I'll show you guys how to mod some stuff. I've had the pieces and parts and everything I want to do with that mod for months now. I've just been waiting for that, what they're code naming the Rachel board to come out. Can I play Guardians? I'm assuming you're talking about the VPX version, and not the FX3 version, but I can play both. But yeah, this is the Stern table.
Please wait. I am now loading up the game.
Kid when he was on the Suns. Best kid. Absolutely agree. Jason Kidd was awesome for many years, but on the Suns for sure. Is this the same monitor as my previous video? No, this is different. This is an LG monitor. The other one I used was actually it was a TV. But I'll make a separate video showing all the stuff I did to get this in there. I've got a link in the description to the actual TV I purchased. But it is it's a little bit tricky, that's for sure, to say the least. And that was a terrible pass. Trying to get all fancy and pass the ball from one flipper to the next, and I just lost it. The Rachel board, when is it coming out? So it keeps getting, I don't want to say delayed, but like the date keeps moving. So I'm just going to say optimistically in the next month, hopefully. But that's just me being optimistic. I went with a bigger playfield, just noticed. Yes, this is 32 inches. So 32 inch 1080p, 75 megahertz monitor. Said that stock 24 inch playfield is fine. But I was really, it was more of a like personal challenge to myself. I was like, man, I know I can do a better job than what I did with that proof of concept. So I was like, I really want to find a way to get 32 inches in here because I know it's feasible. Yes, I do have an ACD table. I forget which one table. Thank you, MTM. Appreciate you stopping. Of the playfield body, the only thing I sacrifice, like I said, is like just a half inch down to the playfield that I can't really see under, and I'm not like crushing the screen. Like I said, I got new glass on here, so it doesn't really matter. I can put my hands on here and I'm not touching the actual screen. And originally when I was trying to get this monitor in here, she's short. She was like, it's too tall for me to see. So it's like, all right. So I tore everything down and started again and better. And it's short person friendly for the most part.
The stone is in the furthest pod.
Sorry, I'm trying to read this comment and not lose the ball. Ralph says, Doug, do you think I will be able to install a D&D into the back glass of the At Games Pinball? Absolutely. Very simple. There's like, and that's another one of those things, like you can make that as easy or as difficult as you possibly want. It just kind of depends on the pinball machine. I've seen people do like 9, 10, I think 11 inches. That's bad. Yeah, Triple D. That's not my initials, but whatever. But yes, it's completely feasible. Very, very easy to do if you want something like 8 inches for sure. Stream cutting. Oh no, YouTube's trying to kill me. Chopping out. I struggle to always know, like, I think it's back. Like what I see on my stream versus what you guys see is always a little bit different. Walmart. Okay, that's what I figured. Me and the LA Beast are my favorite YouTubers. Well, thank you, Nick. That's high praise. I greatly appreciate that. I couldn't tell you the name of it because it's like an off-brand company I've never heard of. I can send you the link, Bazooka. You'll just have to send me an email. It's available on Amazon. It's relatively cheap, but you can literally like fit it. Even tried going down to 480. Well, dang it. YouTube does not want me to stream tonight. That or my wife came home and is downstairs streaming video. Let me see. Doug needs the bandwidth. That's the crazy thing. Like, I have 1 gigabit internet, but like, it's also the worst service provider in my area. But they're also the only provider that offers gigabit TMT. Yeah, I've got TMT. Let's go over to that. Who doesn't love Ninja Turtles?
Please wait. I am now loading up the game. Have fun.
Let's do that because it's out of my control. Knowing my luck, it's probably like this PC that I'm playing, like download work. Keeps showing red on my end, which is not good. Or Windows is downloading the latest bugs for sure. This internet provider that goes for I think another 8 years. It says nobody else is allowed to come to this city and provide internet. You know, city council board got paid off here because that's clearly what's happened. Alright, well, we'll get started and hopefully the stream for At Games machines marked up beyond belief. 790. Well, that's Canadian prices at the brick. That's not American prices. So I hope you realize that. Sorry, David. Out of my control, hardwired. I've got 1 gigabyte internet connection. Like I've done everything I could possibly do to make it work. If it doesn't come back, we'll just have to call it an early night, and I apologize, but sometimes. Let me pull up my internet service provider app and see if I can get something to refresh. That's the only thing I could. Start all tests. Network check. Time. Here, maybe if I just turn it to the table, maybe YouTube will like that a little more. Maybe? I don't know. Instead of 5 cameras or whatever, we'll just take this one for a little bit. Yeah, sorry. It's like, apologize, guys. Meatball Saucy, you're probably right. It's YouTube, you know, throttling this because it's all this copyrighted music. Pub called it a scam. Funny you're unwilling to look at the price difference. Any other suggestions on table? Lower the bit rate. Yeah, see, I just tried that and it didn't do anything. Oh, well, I can't argue or invalidate that one way or the other because the brick is a Canadian retailer. We don't have access to it. And SSX cab just got home, needs game board and a monitor, lower resolution. I could try. Alright, just bumped it down to 720p. I doubt that's going to do anything. Like I said, I have a feeling that it's either my ISP being jerks or YouTube just doesn't want to cooperate tonight because all my connections that I just ran on my network test say everything's golden. And it's a nostalgic sideshow. Okay, YouTube's got something going on at their servers. No worries. Oh wow, Twilight Zone background rules. Yeah, it does. I love that song. Let's try Royal Rumble real quick and then we'll maybe just call it a night. Sorry guys. I wish this was going to work better. They're all the same, so I mean it really doesn't matter which one you get. They're all built the exact same. They all mod the exact same way.
I will bury you. I will bury you.
Have a good night, Super. Excuse me, Hollywood.
Hurry up and get back into the ring.
Provider doesn't like consistent stream. They will, yeah, it's true. Although now it says it's working, of course, now that I've downgraded to 720p. Gross. I keep looking at the stream. Thanks for trying to stream. Yeah, sorry, Thomas. Wish it worked. Favorite tables, like I said, is the Stranger Things and the Masters of the Universe ones. There's just so much going on with those tables. The sound effects. Just the lighting, I guess you could say, even though it's, you know, all visual on the screen, the lighting on those tables is pretty gorgeous. Looking forward to the future mod videos. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Low res worked. You're welcome. Yeah. Never had to do that ever on a live stream before, so that's a new one for me. I don't want to stream in 720 though. It's 2021. Like I should be streaming in 4K. I got a gigabyte. At least that's what my internet service provider tells me I've got. Well, thank you. That's kind of why I do the videos. I like to help people, and you know, somebody out there can come up with a new, innovative way to do something that blows mine out of the water. That's awesome. I don't mind being a stepping stone to somebody else's creative process.
Hey, your partner.
Big Boss Man. I think it was it? Yeah, yesterday was the 31st anniversary of, or was it 30th? I'm bad with my dates. Of WrestleMania 6 with Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior champion versus champion match. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you're watching. If you're like watching this on a phone, 720 versus 1080p is not going to matter to you. If you're watching this on a laptop or something, then you'll notice the difference. Any other requests? Said we got loads of VPX tables and the FX3 tables. Yeah. Watching on a 4K TV, you can definitely tell the difference, 100%. No, this is a 32-inch screen I put in there. I had the original display in here for a long time, but I decided to challenge myself and see if I could put a 32-inch screen in here, and lo and behold. All right, Back to the Future. I'm right next to it.
Please wait. I am now loading
At least tell the viewers to shop around. I could have saved money ordering from... I'm not sure what you're hanging up on. I don't recall ever telling anybody to buy from the brick that wasn't in Canada. Like I've always linked like Walmart or Best Buy or GameStop to the United States and then the brick for Canada. Like, because that's all it's been available to my knowledge. I don't live in Canada, but to my education, that's what I was informed. The brick was the Canadian retailer that sold the pinball machines. Turn the music up on this one because this is the digitized version of the Back to the Future music, so I think I can get away with it. Oh, lost it. Arcade1Up should take pointers from me on builds. I don't know about that. I've given them feedback in the past, and it goes in a wastebasket. Let's put it that way. I mean, they've got people way smarter and more talented than me that build their machines. It's just whether or not they get to translate their ideas or their concepts for something that's retail, mass-produced ready is the difference. Like, I'm sure they wanted to give us a pinball machine that was 1080p, 60 frames per second. It's just... for cost reasons or whatever unknown reasons, they couldn't do it. I wish they would have, but they couldn't. So, yeah. I mean, they're a business. They're supposed to make money. Can't fault them for that. Like, would I love everything to have more bells and whistles and be 50% less? Yes, but at the end of the day, that's not a good business strategy. So it's weird. Like, I understand things from a business standpoint, a production standpoint, a manufacturing standpoint, and I also have like my consumer feelings, and sometimes all those feelings don't mesh well, but at the end of the day, you just gotta say, okay, it is what it is. You can gripe on the internet and throw a fit about it, or you can be a rational adult and say, okay, I'm either A, going to support this product, or B, I'm not going to support this product. You know, those are your choices. Griping on the internet necessarily doesn't technically ever really resolve or help situations long term. So you paid over $1,000 for your Ultimate machine. Just saying, order offline, bro. Again, I don't know who you're talking to on that Juggernaut. Like, I don't know if you're directing that towards me or the chat or who, because I don't recall ever peddling any advice to the contrary. Scott Gray says I'm irrational. Hey, it's easy to get like emotionally invested and upset in things. But like, I'm a firm believer in like, take control of your emotions. Don't let your emotions control you. That's why I'm a very level, calm individual. Like, my house could be on fire and I will just casually like grab some important things and walk out of the house. Like, other people will be running, screaming, doing all sorts of things. It's just like everyone handles disappointment and stress differently, and I purposely choose to handle it in a calm, what can you do type of decision mentality. Can I recap the advantages / difficulties in this build? Okay, so that's difficult because of the different levels and stages of this build. So I'll try to do that in like bullet points. So early on, the basic build was just get a PC in it, get things to work with the standard Arcade1Up like architecture, so to speak. So like the buttons, add more games, get the stock screen to work, get the stock DMD to work. That's easy. I mean, it's literally an LCD controller board, a cheap encoder, and you're golden. Now, if you want to up the ante, because you lose things if you do that basic version of it, because you lose your solenoids, you lose like whatever high scores you had on your Arcade1Up machine. You void your warranty, obviously. If you take it up a step further and you want to add like a back glass, okay, so you gain like the ability to have multiple images now. So I got 3 different screens, but you also need like a dedicated video card that's pretty beefy. And then if you want these solenoids and more haptic feedback back, then you got to invest in that. There's a million different ways to do the plunger. That one's kind of its own animal. Like you can get a dedicated encoder board that works natively with the stock Arcade1Up plunger. You can get one that replaces the Arcade1Up plunger, but it still kind of fits in the same footprint. Like I said, it's really hard to describe because it just depends on what everybody wants on their burger, so to speak, because everyone's going to want more things or less things than another person. Everyone's going to have different thoughts and opinions on what features are more important or less important than others. Never said you're a fanboy for the brick, just called the brick out. Okay, sorry. I was just getting confused, Juggernaut, because it sounded like you were attacking me for advertising the brick when I didn't really ever advertise it. With all these mods, can you keep and use the Arcade1Up plunger? Yes, you can. There's different encoder boards that work well with it. I think it's GeekPie makes one that it's basically like a normal standard USB encoder that also has an analog input signal, and you can plug it into that as well. You'll have to ask B-Kong on that one. He used that one. I used something completely different just because I wanted analog nudging. So when I physically nudged the machine, it would respond. As I mentioned previously, I've turned it off thanks to my wife's demands. We do Party Monsters or Scared Stiff. I forget which. I'll do Scared Stiff. Elvira tables. Those are classic pinball. I think I've got a pup video one on this one as well.
Have fun.
So would it be better building from scratch? That one's hard to answer because that's a case by case. Like everyone's skill levels as far as building. I will tell you, like, buying a kit doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense in my eyes, just because what you pay for a kit, and you still have to source things like your monitor, your PC, and all that stuff. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless you just want something that's huge. Like I originally say, don't buy the Arcade1Up machine if you're only going to mod it. But then again, when I started like comparing prices of kits out there, it actually does kind of slightly make financial sense to buy an Arcade1Up pinball machine, gut it, and mod it. It just really depends on how comfortable you are with your technical prowess, your modding capabilities, woodworking, electronic capabilities. There's a little bit of all of that in it, depending on what features you're trying to accomplish. This was like a gigabyte 1650 low profile card because I'm running an OptiFlex small form factor 9020 PC, which is small footprint and everything. So if it was a mid-tower or a full-size PC, it would obviously be easier for me to get different video cards, but I'm somewhat limited in my video card selection because of this. Bottom line, if someone is desperate to own a product, they will pay based on availability. The plus, yeah, 100% they will. I see it all the time with toys. Action figure comes out, retail price $19.99. Everybody wants it. Goes on eBay, starts selling for $129.99, which is nuts to me, but supply and demand. There was Attack from Mars pinball machines that were on Amazon, not sold by Arcade1Up, but sold by a different like third-party vendor, and they were selling for $1,000, and I think now they're up to $1,300 because people still are paying prices, and as long as they pay those crazy prices, the vendor that has that supply will continue to get as much money as possible, and you can't really fault them for that. Do I, as a consumer, like that practice? No. As a business person, do I understand it? 100%. On my setup here, how is my typical startup process? Like every time you want to play, do I have to turn on multiple things? And no, I don't. So I've got everything booted to, so I've got a SSD in here, so my Windows startup time is pretty quick. I've got Pinup Popper scheduled to run automatically. My DOF Links runs automatically. My keyboard coding and configuration runs automatically in the background and everything. So I think it's like, I was timing it the other day. It's close to 30 seconds, maybe 25 seconds from the moment I just flip a toggle switch that I have under here that powers everything up to the time I'm able to see the Pinup Popper games and pick a pinball table. And then the great thing about this Pinup Popper is I also can shut everything down from here. Just hit back a couple times and it'll ask me, do I want to shut down the the PC, or do I want to hit back and go to a different menu? And you can tell it to shut down the PC from this menu. So it's very streamlined and user-friendly. Would my wife mess it up? Probably. Would the average person that works on computers be able to figure it out? Yes. It's just a matter of like opening your startup menu in your Windows screen and like dragging and dropping what programs you want to run on startup, and then you're good to go. I lost that one really quick.
How's your head?
I haven't had any complaints yet.
Ad Astra auction tomorrow will be my first. Ooh, that'll be a fun one. I wish I had arcade auctions in my area, and I also don't wish I did because I'd be in so much trouble. I'd probably have a storage unit full of arcades and pinball machines, but only time arcades are really available around here is like Facebook Marketplace, and typically it's like an old beat down Galaga machine that's not working that somebody's like, I want $4,000 for it. Like, I just see all sorts of crazy demands and prices in my area. I don't know what it is, but people tend to, like, I go to flea markets like looking for retro toys and comics and things like that, and all I do is find a bunch of like Hot Wheels cars or 90s Spawn action figures that people were asking $180 for. I'm like, that's not realistic, folks. Analog says, the only hesitation I have for drilling holes for the extra buttons. Yeah, I can understand how that would make a lot of people nervous. It made me nervous just as far as like I didn't want them to be like not centered or off. I didn't want one to be like cockeyed, so to speak. But with a step bit, it makes it pretty easy. It does it incrementally, so as you're drilling the hole, it's much easier to keep everything straight and on the up and up. And this is coming from somebody that never took a shop class in his life. I was an art and drama kid all throughout high school and college and things like that. So all of my woodworking, and I use that term lightly, skills is just self-taught stuff in life. It's funny. I had a college course called circuit analysis, which I absolutely hated, and I thought was stupid because I was like a film student, and I was like, why am I supposed to take this? I'm like, what are you guys expecting me to like take apart a film camera on set and like solder it all back together? And then lo and behold, that class is what allows me the education to be able to do a lot of this mods safely and comfortably. If there are any children in the audience, you might want to have them turn away. South Park, obviously, for mature audiences. This is one of my favorite tables. This is a Sega table. Sega made some awesome pinball machines back in the day. They also made some pretty terrible ones. But this one in particular, I absolutely love. Yes, step bit will be a lifesaver for you, and you'll use it a ton if you're doing any kind of arcade mods. Skylar says, I'm going to mod mine when I get bored with it. The only issue I have with it so far is so loud you can't leave it coming with the music playing. Yeah, it is very loud. Like, my wife loves playing our Star Wars pinball machine. And I can always hear that iconic, Star Wars opening credits crawl from downstairs when she turns it on. I love South Park to death. I don't know about you guys, but it is still highly topical and just, I love it. Satire comedy at its finest. And I lost it. Dang it. Bobby has me on with Peter. Oh, that's my bad. Yeah, I forgot the Super Gamer dudes are like. I'm used to doing our the Retro Buzz live stream, and I typically like we get on there where my time is like 4:30, and we do like a little pre-show, and then we do our show, and we talk after the show. And by that time, I'm like so wiped and tired of talking that I typically have to catch like the Super Gamer dudes show afterwards. So I always forget they're on now. So my apologies. Did I have to download each table separately, or is there table packs available? So there are table packs available. I purposely don't do that. I do them individually. Allows me to like pick and choose what's important to me and not have to have tons of crud to go through, because like I was mentioning way earlier in the broadcast, there's a bunch of tables that like sound awesome, and then you play them and they're not. So it's always nice to not have to go through all that fluff. In the first mod video I did, you mentioned the solenoids stopped working, but they are working in here. Was it bad electrical board? So yeah, it's the relay board. The solenoids themselves were fine. It's the relay board that I was showing in that video. It's basically what tells the Arcade1Up Pinball machine to fire those solenoids with the stock PCB and everything. That's what died on me. Without that, the solenoids have no information communicating to it to let it know to fire the solenoids. So I knew my solenoids were fine because I tested them with a battery. You can do that very easily and get them to fire. So I knew the solenoids were fine, so I kept them, made sure I didn't like throw them out or anything. But this is VPX. I can do FX3. Is there an aliens table? Yeah. Here, I'll just do FX3 since we're kind of talking about it. And play the aliens tables over there. So we got aliens isolation, aliens versus predator, and normal aliens. Come on, my man. We got to romance these flippers just a little more. You got this. I appreciate that.
Tell me one.
Not a good day to bring up packs. Analog. Yeah, it's true. Was it vpinball.com shut down? Owner said he was tired of people commercializing the downloads from there, which I don't blame him. I mean, there's a lot of hard work that the community's done to create amazing tables, and people are downloading them, put them in packs, and selling them. So yeah, that'd be frustrating. Seeing other people, make money off your hard work. Would have been nice if there was a little more like heads up for the community, I guess. But guy owns the website; he can do as he pleases. And this is really like one of the main reasons I started this mod, was like I owned all these Pinball FX3 tables on Steam already, and I was just so kind of bummed out that Arcade1Up didn't allow me to, as silly as it sounds, buy them again on their machine, or even have like online leaderboards and things like that, which is what I can do with this now that I have a PC in it. I thought for sure they would do something like that, because it just seems like an easy money-making opportunity for them to, allow you to download and purchase more tables, because there's a very expansive FX3 library out there, or Zen Studios library, not specifically FX3. So there's lots of games to choose from and make money from. obviously they make more money if you buy multiple tables, but then you could still make, like, even the person that owns, you know, the Attack from Mars, the Marvel, and the Star Wars machine, there's still more tables in those catalogs of those IPs that you could still sell to the consumers. So hopefully it's still in the plans for them, because I know modding these machines is not something that everybody can or should do. So we'll see. Aliens is a dope table, I agree. Well, thank you, Craftman. Scott Gray says a friend of mine is editing the new AVP anthology. Should be out next year. That's awesome. It's going to be an anniversary edition, I assume. Analog says I purchased all the FX3's tables on Steam. Well, then, I'm sure you're like me, and maybe you heard the news that Zen Studios is moving to a new engine, and they're kind of quasi-retiring FX3, not necessarily like making it go away, but they're moving on to the Unreal Engine, and they're making new games for it. But they also said, you know, they're porting over existing tables to the new engine, but if you want them, you'll have to buy them again. So a lot of people were up in arms over that they're like, hey, wait a minute, I've got to buy all these tables all over again, and the answer to that one was yes. Yes, you do. So if you want to move on to their new one, I think it's just called like Pinball FX. I think it's the official title. I'm drawing a blank on it. You'll have to buy the tables all over again. But their new like engine, the Unreal Engine with their tables, did look pretty slick when they were showing it off. TJP, this is a 32-inch screen in the playfield, 22-inch in the back glass, and then it's the stock, I think it's like 7.5 inch for the DMD. Yeah, Pinball FX. Thank you, Keto. I'm excited for it too. I'm really excited for the Star Wars, I think it's collectibles table. It has like the old school action figures on it. That gets me super excited, being, you know, comic, toy, collectible, Star Wars nerd. All right. Any other FX3 games you guys want to see me play while I'm here? Scott says I got an RTX 2060 Super, so I'm down for the new FX. Oh yeah, you're golden there. Analog said he hadn't heard that. Yeah, I think they just announced it like 2 weeks ago. Comic and toy collector too. Good man, good man. Don't ever grow up. It is a trap. Doom is a favorite. Well, look at you. I landed right on it.
Wait, I am now loading up the game. Have fun.
It's a pretty... Yeah, I was about to say, I remember the back glass image is pretty scurry, so to speak. Skill level. Let's just put it on Nightmare, because I'm going to lose anyway. Why not lose in style? Oh. Just trying to adjust the volume. Kato says, my hopes is the inevitable Wave 2 of the Arcade1Up Star Wars pinball machine has their new Mandalorian table. Oh yeah. I mean, that thing would sell by itself, so I think that's probably a no-brainer to see that, like you said, inevitably happens. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to play it. All those new Star Wars tables. And one thing to note, I think this is in November. I think it'll be the 30th anniversary of the theatrical release of Addams Family. So if Zen wanted to, I don't know, release the Addams Family table that they have the rights to, that would be pretty sweet. I'd like to see the, you know, Pinball FX version of the Addams Family table. I don't know about you guys. Analog, have a good night. Appreciate you stopping by. Music Rock Pins. Yeah, so I have The Who, Tommy, of course. We got AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Metallica on here. I have a Daft Punk table. I had a Misfits table, but I got rid of it because it was just a little too plain for me. What else do I have? Oh, we got a couple more. Elvis, Beatles. Addams Family is definitely a classic. Yes, yes it is. It is fantastic. I love that movie series to death. Second one gets a lot of hate, but I still enjoyed it. All right.
Now nothing can stop me.
That was a quick death. Here, we'll go to the music tables real quick, since I'm already not going to make money on this, since all the copyright strikes, so it's fine. What's a few more? I don't know why it wouldn't let me go back there. Music pen would be awesome, but not to be a downer, but I think it would be hard getting the bands to agree. Oh, it wouldn't be hard, it would be expensive. So I said I got this ACD table. Got the Beatles table, Daft Punk. Guns N' Roses. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I had a couple more. Metallica. Trying to remember what else. That may be it. Said I've whittled down this list quite a bit. What's the difference between this and At Games? That is too many differences to list, so to speak. You'll have to specify like this in its original form, this in its current form. Have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Flash pinball machine from 1979. I can get it, but I haven't purposely played that one. Here. We'll do the Beatles. It's a good looking table. You may or may not like the Beatles. And if you don't, I question your musical taste. Oh, well then, mission accomplished. Yep, it's not a physical machine. It's all digital. Virtual pinball machines can look amazing if you know what you're doing. And this is just like a fraction of what they're capable of. People far more talented than me that have done much more impressive things. The Beatles.
They think you're American.
Oh, lost that quick. So the table itself is simple on the older classic design, which makes perfect sense. Pup pack for this is, the video package is awesome. All sorts of cool concert clips, interviews, music videos. Fire off and play during certain times of the gameplay. Back out and show different game. Yeah, go back to AC/DC real quick.
Please wait. I am now loading up the game. Have fun.
What software am I running on my PC to get this up and running? So Pinup Popper, the baller installer specifically, is the front end that you're seeing here with all the videos of the tables playing, the graphics on the back glass, things like that. The actual programs to playing the pinball games are Steam and FX3 for those tables from Zen Studios, and then these virtual pinball tables or visual pinball tables are through VPX or Visual Pinball 10 specifically. Is it recessed at all? Yes, it is completely recessed down to where its stock was. I know it's hard for you to tell because I've got glass on top of this, but yes, I've got it recessed as deep as you possibly can get it. Yes, Adam, this is a 32-inch playfield. And I have a different back glass image than what actually is supposed to go with this table, but that was a purposeful decision by me because I actually like this back glass image more than the one that it's supposed to go with this table, so I'm sure that's probably firing somebody's OCD off, but it's my table. I do what I want. Nope, lost it. Definitely need a great graphics card. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want. If you just want like the Pinball FX3, you can get this. You'll need a pretty good graphics card for sure. Manipulated it, so to speak. I've made lots of modifications to this in various different stages over the last couple weeks, months. It's another one of those. I need a fire button that I don't have set up. I will use the fire button next time as soon as I map it. Mapped a button to that yet, because only a few tables on this machine actually use it. Got to try out the color ROMs. Oh, okay. Cool. Further down the rabbit hole I go. And I know you guys obviously can't like sense or feel it, but like when the ball hits that bell, this machine vibrates like crazy thanks to the surround sound feedback. Little nuanced things like that really kind of like break down that barrier between physical and visual, and really help you feel like you're playing a more authentic pinball machine when you're obviously playing just a visual representation of a physical machine. I do have Metallica. Here, we'll go over there. We'll play Metallica real quick. And I'm pretty sure this is not like the newest version of this table file anyway. I want to say I saw a much more recent version of this Metallica table that has like new and improved graphics and physics, so keep that in mind. Follow up, how did I recess it? Because I think on your original one it was right on top. Yes, in the original one it was right on top. This is a different monitor. I'll make a dedicated video showing you how I did it, because there's some quirks to it for sure. Yep, right down the hole. Right down the hole. Just the right flipper. I feel like I did that earlier, but it didn't work. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Looks close to actual pinball. Yeah, if done right. I mean, like I said, my representation of this is not as, amazing as other builds out there. Like I said, you can get crazy with this. You can spend a fortune making awesome virtual pinball machines. I try to do this as like economically and price conscious as possible, and still keep it in the Arcade1Up body. Obviously, like just like everything in the world, I could build this for cheaper myself if I went to Lowe's and bought wood panels and cut everything myself. Sure. But I'm also kind of lazy when it comes to that. Like, I like to have something to start with. It's like, you could build a Lamborghini for a fraction of cost of what it would obviously cost to buy one. Or you could, buy a quasi-fast car, put thousands of dollars in it, and make it faster than a Lamborghini. It's just, a million different ways to approach things. Just depends on like how crazy you want to get with things and how much money you want to spend and how big, how bad you want to make things. Table art on here throws me off because I'm so used to the original lineup of Metallica, the band members. So when I see like the images of, you know, the quasi recent lineup, I'm like, that's not Metallica. The A1UP has always had the compact form factor that just works. That's why pinball mod is a must. Yeah, like I've got a 5-bedroom house, but like several of the bedrooms are very small, so Arcade1Up's small footprint is kind of ideal for me to have pinball. If I bought a full-size pinball machine, it would like have to live in the garage and it wouldn't get appreciated as much just because like there's no room in my house where that would fit normal and not just be an absolute eyesore or a headache for a full-size pinball machine. Like I got a full-size arcade in this room and it's like having a giant refrigerator in there. It takes up so much space. All right, let's play one more table and we'll call it a night. Like I said, we've had... Wife's texting me. Still on the fence to get Arcade1Up or Legends table. I love playing on a projector 170 inches wall desktop mode. Yeah, that's fun. You got a projector, that'd be hard to go down to either one of those machines if you're playing on 170 inches. Arcade1Up is the IKEA of the industry. I mean, I could see that correlation. Honestly, virtual studios, I mean, both machines are good in their own right. It just really depends on what you want out of them. Like, if you want to mod it, it's technically easier to connect a computer or something to the AtGames machine because it's natively supporting that. But if, size and form factor, it's more important to you, Arcade1Up's the better option. It just depends on what you want. Yeah, and same thing, Adam. It depends. Just based off looks and ergonomics with the metal lockdown bar, I lean towards 1UP. Plus, sees easier for 3-monitor play. So, I mean, again, it depends on how you want to go to it. Like, if you just want a machine, is the better option just because it's literally like you plug in an OTG cable, you connect, some HDMI plugs, as you can get by with 2. But, the Arcade1Up does have prettier legs, in my opinion. I like the chrome, aluminum trim we got here. It does come with the DMD that you can hook up. You can make the stock monitor work, but it's smaller. AtGames is 32, stock monitor on Arcade1Up is 24. It's such a back and forth, It just depends on what you want to give up. David, good night. Happy Easter. Appreciate it. Out of the box, ALP has more options and control panel. Yeah, I mean, it just really depends on what you want. And like you can add the trackball. I don't want to play arcade games. It's cool that you can do it, but it's just not for me. Trying to think. So Space Jam or Pinball, Simpsons Pinball Party. One of those two. I'll leave it up to you guys because that'll be the final table, whichever. So give me a Simpsons or a Space in the comment, depending on which one you want to watch. We'll close out the night. I've been streaming longer than I thought. Simpsons. Is the stock monitor? No, this is an upgraded one. I had the stock monitor on here. Space Jam. Okay, so we got 2 for Simpsons, 1 for Space Jam. Right, so we had 2 votes for Simpsons, so majority wins. Apologize, Thomas. Or I could just lose at this really quick and we could play both. Because I'm a man of the people. Have a good night, man. Appreciate this. I just realized I forgot to turn off, which is nice. Because I don't like that on my back glass since I have a dedicated DMD. It's another awesome Stern table. Simpsons was like my childhood television parents. because my parents were never home, so they just like tell me to stay home and play video games and watch TV. So that's what I did. Stayed home, played video games, and watched The Simpsons a lot. So it's my childhood babysitter. Nope, lost it. Thank you, holding fast. I appreciate that. That's what I try to do, is just stay away from the internet drama that's always going around and just keep positive and stay focused and, you know, keep the eyes on the prize, so to speak. Here, we'll do Space Jam real quick and we'll call it a night.
Please wait. I am now loading up the game.
I do love this table.
Have fun.
It's an awesome table in real life. And I'm excited to see the new movie. It'll be odd for my adult self to see a, you know, contemporary modernized version of something I grew up with, but I'll be excited to see it regardless. Russell, yes. So some of them I have yes, some of them I have just the standard back glass image, but this one in particular is a putt pack video package where it plays and shows different things corresponding with the game. So I got this nice image. It's got, you know, scenes from Space Jam playing on the back glass. I've got, this one had a dead space there, so I put the DMD there as well as, you know, actual in my DMD screen. So it's a little overkill. Oh, sorry. I just realized the ball was there the whole time. I just kept hitting quarters. Thank you, Matthew. Thank God for Shoot Again, because that was like the shortest ball ever. This table has a lot of lights, and you get a lot of ball reflection if you have that setting turned on. So like down there, when it gets down here, like the ball almost looks clear. When it gets over Michael's uniform, almost looks transparent. You can turn settings like that off in the visual pinball menu if you want, but I like it for most tables. Lost it. Uh-oh. Marvel Machine died today, day one, just thinking about saying screw it and modding it. Who knows how long it will be. What died on it exactly? Joe, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. It's very kind of you to say. All right. Well, I lost real quick. So we'll call that a night. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you hanging around. Sorry earlier if you were around when we were having streaming difficulties. The internet doesn't want to cooperate. It is what it is. But guys, thank you so much. It's been forever since I did a live stream, so it's been nice to chat with you guys and hang out. So hope you guys have a great, safe Easter weekend, and take care, guys.